Now, chapter 2 is all about how ClickUp works. You now know para. Let's understand ClickUp's hierarchy. This is extremely important. Let's go ahead and let's get to know what ClickUp is all about. Okay, so in ClickUp, really organization is the key, and it all starts with 3 different or main levels. Now you've got spaces, folders, and also lists. Now these levels align perfectly with how we're going to build the para method inside of ClickUp using spaces. Let me just share my screen. I'll just quickly show you what I'm talking about here. Because at the very top here, you can see something called a workspace. What's really handy about having a workspace is you can have multiple sign-ins that will allow you to be able to seamlessly switch between different workspaces. So the example is you might have a workspace for multiple businesses, and then you might have a workspace for other clients' businesses. And then finally, you might even create a separate dedicated workspace just for your personal use. Now, the great thing about all of these is the idea that you can have this all connected to just one sign-on. And then you can literally seamlessly switch between each one of those different workspaces without having to log out, log back in. So it's a really handy way to manage ClickUp. Now, next on the list we have what's called a space. Now, think about a space as a large container. Now, the space itself at level 1, all right, is going to hold level 2, which is the folder, which then holds level 3, which is the list. So everything here in terms of hierarchy goes something like this. It goes from space, and then of course the space can hold an individual list that doesn't live inside a folder, and inside the folder of course it holds these 2 different lists. Now the great thing about this is that if you think about the para method, right, so you've got projects, areas, resources, and archive, right? So with projects, you're not going to just have one list to manage your projects. You might have a project that requires multiple lists, right? So for example, you might have, a project that has, 2 lists, and then one of those lists could be for your client facing, and the other list could be for your team that you want to invite to. So that way you can keep it completely separate. So it's just a really handy way of using a space as a means of managing the para method, right? Which you'll see in more detail. So in summary, how the levels work. So you got level 1 is a space, level 2 is a folder, and then level 3 is a list. So now you know the fundamentals of ClickUp in terms of how the hierarchy works. Let's just dive in to the actual tutorial itself. Great work in completing the chapter. Now remember this, all templates are inside GTM Academy on School. The link is in the description. Let's keep going.